Quick disclaimer before we get started. So this presentation is for informational and educational purposes only. You will hear about precious metals and other investment items. Please consult a professional before making any decisions. Check with advisors for more information. With that said,
hey everyone, it's great to be with you. We're excited to share our research with you and show you the case for the new generation of sound money. My name is Juliana Ramaz.
And I'm R.C. Williams. Juliana and I are co-founders of SHERLOC, a research and decision intelligence firm that helps you to invest in answers. So what that means is, instead of simply giving you research and saying, hey, have a nice day, pay us, we actually help you to use the information and make decisions faster and see what's coming next. So you can see the gold mines and the landmines. We're also publishers of the investigative news site SherlockExposes.com, which constantly keeps an eye on what's happening.
So we've helped businesses and industry leaders all over the world to grow and become the smartest people in the room. We're the go-to experts for top media personalities and speakers, and our decision intelligence work has predicted the outcomes of elections, Supreme Court decisions, and Fortune 500 acquisitions. The information that you'll see today is a result of our extensive work around the future of the economy of the United States and a number of other countries around the world. That research led to 2 key reports and the discovery of a solution to the threats against your wealth. RC?
It sure did, Juliana. So in November of last year, we published our precious metals forecast for 2023. And in that forecast, we shared that the coming resource wars for precious metals would bring an upswing in value. Did you know that central banks bought record amounts of gold in 2022?
Wow.
I mean, we're talking into the hundreds of tons. You combine that with the need for precious metals for technology and quote unquote green products, and demand looks like it's going to skyrocket, which means the value will as well.
Right. We also found in the research that we got back from our technology platform, Parable, that market makers were working hard to shape narratives so that they could benefit from fear and panic at your expense, of course. We actually warned the people in that report that they need to keep a close eye on the key movements from the central banks in the relationship between Russia, China, and Saudi Arabia related to the end of the dominance of the U.S. dollar.
And really, that's at the core of this presentation, Juliana. So we know that the question that's running through your mind right now is, why am I here? And it's a good one. Someone may have invited you to see this presentation, or you may have seen us on a show, but really, it's because in your gut, you know that something is off. I mean, really off. And you want to understand what it is, why it's happening, and what you can do. And so we'd like to show you what we've discovered and why there's some really good news for you.
So, RC, you've shared in the prior presentations that people should fasten their seatbelts because they will experience turbulence until we reach a comfortable altitude.
Amen.
It's true in this case as well. Economically, things are broken. Some of this you can see and feel now. Food is more expensive. Gas going out. It feels like everything is broken, right? Here's what you don't see or feel yet, and what many don't see or feel until it's too late. This goes way deeper than you've been led to believe. In this new publication, Sherlock Exposes, we've laid out how the focus of the World Bank, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, have colluded to steal your wealth and get uber rich in the process. Maybe you've heard the joke about the guy with the bomb diffuser jacket. If he's running, you better keep up.
Juliana, the last point you made, and I want you all to keep this in mind, there are forces at play that are manipulating markets and making moves to get rich on the fear and the panic that they create. Here's the good news, though. After this presentation, you'll understand how they do what they do, why, and that you can do many of the same things. Okay, so we want to share something with you guys. Have you seen this before? If not, this is the U.S. debt clock, which you can find at usdebtclock.org. It's actually a real-time feed. Now, take a look closely here. I want you to look at our national debt number. It's over $31 trillion.
RC, wait a second. Are you seeing this right? The average debt per taxpayer is $248,000?
Yeah, it's kind of scary, right? You should also look at the bottom line, too, that our debt to GDP ratio, that's our debt versus a measure of all our economic activity. It's at 121%.
So at 121%, you're telling us that our debt is more than we produce?
Bingo, ma'am. We are broke. One more thing to look at here, and that is our unfunded liabilities. So look at the number here under U.S. unfunded liabilities. I mean, did you guys realize that we're on the hook for like $500,000 a piece?
This is crazy. When I mentioned the meltdown a minute ago, this is part of what I was talking about. We ran a story a while back on SHERLOC Exposes about how $4 trillion in pension fund was basically being managed by amateurs and how the entire system is set up to fail. How does something like this actually happen, RC?
It's a great question, Juliana. But before we move on, I want to make sure everyone knows the simple definition of inflation. And this one's really important. Okay, inflation is simply too much money chasing too few things. And with that, let's take a look at what's happened with the US dollar since the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913, because that's when things really started to go downhill. And this chart shows it. So I'm just going to key in on a couple of important points here. In 1913, the Federal Reserve was created. At the time, a dollar would get you a dollar gold coin if you walked into a bank and asked for it. But you fast forward just 20 years, President Roosevelt criminalizes the possession of gold, of sound money. So if Juliana had coins or other bullion or bars or even gold in your teeth, give it up, right? And it was done for the stability of the government and the country. Here's the crazy part. The government made a killing within one day because they bought it from you at a token amount, and the next day they reset the price. So instantly they had liquidity.
Criminals.
Another side note on that, owning gold was outlawed for the next 40 years, by the way. You couldn't own it, right? So 1944, the Bretton Woods Agreement takes place. Now, what this meeting did is it made the dollar the world's reserve currency. So we're like, hallelujah, but not so much, right? Fast forward to 1971, Richard Nixon takes us off the gold standard and fiat currency in the U.S. is born. That's funny money time.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to 2020, the buying power of the dollar is about a penny and going down. Insane. So by the way, the majority of money ever printed in the United States was printed on or after January 1st, 2020. I mean, this with supply chain and everything like that, with COVID, you've got a bunch of money being printed. We're locked up. We can't go do anything. So there's too much money. And then they let us out. And the supply chain isn't broken. It's the fact that there's no one to get the stuff off the ships, which is why ships were sitting out in the ocean waiting because there was no one to get the stuff off of them. So you let people out with a ton of money and there's nothing to buy.
So can you pull up the chart?
Oh, yes. This one's crazy. Yes.
So this is crazy. In 1913, a dollar would have bought you 30 Hershey bars. In 1944, 20 bottles of Coke. In 1971, 17 oranges. And in 2020, a McDonald's coffee. Like, yikes.
So, I mean, imagine, I sure love to go get 30 Hershey bars with $1. Imagine what that was like. But guys, this has all happened before. We'll give 3 quick examples. In 1920s Germany, post-World War I, the German mark, you needed a wheelbarrow of them to buy a loaf of bread. There are famous pictures of that. In Argentina, between 75 and 1992, their currency crashed. The exchange rate ended at 100 billion to 1. And then Zimbabwe in 2009, the exchange rate was 10 billion to 1. So funny money is going to be funny. And if it happened here, if it happened in these examples, don't think it can't happen here.
And it happened recently.
Yes, it did.
So we know what you're thinking right now. What do we do? Well, we've shared the foundation of the issues we face and why there's a case for a new generation of sound money. But let's clearly define the problem. We have a square peg, a round hole moment happening right now. Have you heard of this before? It's when things don't make sense. In this case, the square peg, round hole issue is around you covering your assets and someone trying to profit from your assets. Here's the issue. You're trying to get assets that are too expensive from people you can't really trust. And if you actually get the assets, can you really do anything with them?
Juliana, do you remember our friend who dealt with number 1 and number 2? It wasn't really affordable and it certainly wasn't reliable. They went down that road and it almost cost them $100,000. That's real.
So like any good detective, SHERLOC was on the case. We were working on 3 key pillars. First, we need a reliable source of sound money. Then we need a reliable method of exchange so that wealth can be activated. And we need a safe ecosystem to keep track of the value.
You're right, Juliana. So those 3 pillars provided 3 key challenges we had to solve. We had the tangible problem. We needed a real product, right? Then we had the usable problem. There's a huge technology gap to make all of this work in the way that it should. And then there's the value problem. How do you know if it's real or what it's worth? What do you do?
So what we did best, you guessed it, we found the solution.
That's right. We found 3 products that solve the problem. So the first one is a tangible source for sound money. Here's the great news. Trusted. You can buy $5 or $5 million in gold and silver, so you can buy it at a pace that works. And you get expert guidance.
Number 2, we found a game changer, a digital wallet that allows you to work in gold, silver, and cash, conducting commerce all at the same time, and with no transaction fees from person to person. I'll talk about this more in a minute, but this game changer gives you the ability to work in your own parallel economy without having to pay the bank.
This is great. So, Juliana, are you familiar? You guys ever heard of Christie's and Sotheby's? So these are the storefronts that you see in fancy neighborhoods for real estate, right? You've probably also heard about those high-priced auctions where something goes for like $10 million. Those auction houses, those high-end auction houses have been around since the 1740s. Here's the crazy part. We found the auction house for gold and silver. This is amazing. So you can track the value of collectibles in real time. You can buy them and sell them, and everything is verified by experts. Have you heard about anything like any of this? Like, we're in shock that someone got out there and actually solved the problem.
So 3 different products, a sound money resource, a killer digital wallet, and a revolutionary digital auction house?
Yeah, Juliana, 3 different products. A sound money resource, a killer digital wallet, and a revolutionary auction house. So this is usually the point in the presentation where people look at us like they're going to throw something at us because we're telling them they have to add 3 more passwords, 3 more platforms, and pay 3 times.
But what if we told you that you didn't have to do that? What if we told you that it's actually one solution that does all 3? Introducing 7K. It's like Costco for gold and silver.
One solution. Buy gold and silver in whatever amounts you want, $5 or $5 million. Transact instantly, being able to get paid in gold and silver instead of cash, and know what your valuables are worth in real time. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a quick look at each of these, and then we want to show you how it works. So being able to buy gold and silver fractionally changes everything. It allows you to build an offensive and defensive strategy. Let me show you what I mean. So your defensive strategy is probably what you know well. That's bullion, silver coins, gold bars, things like that. You can get that right away. But your offensive strategy is a secret of the wealthy. That's things like collectibles. You can buy and stack collectibles with the platform, and you can track their value in real time. That is real long-term wealth building.
So part 2 is the ability to transact instantly with the Sound Money wallet. This is a serious game changer. I was talking about parallel economies earlier. In our research, we found that the way that the world is going, you're going to want to have alternatives to the mainstream systems. Imagine the ability to buy gold and silver fractionally, and then being able to buy something with it or get paid with it all instantly. That's a real parallel economy.
Amen to that. And part 3 is stack and sell. So that's the digital auction house for gold and silver. It helps you to understand what your stuff is worth, thanks to a bunch of experts who keep an eye on everything, making it safe, secure, and trusted. Imagine being able to scan all of your collectibles, instantly verify them, and get a market value, and then being able to see what your stuff is worth and how much it's increased in value in real time. As Juliana likes to say, that's a game changer.
So what we want to do now is show you how easy it is to use each of these things. Up first, our friend Alicia will walk us through the power of 7K membership.
7K makes grabbing your membership so simple. You will receive a link from the person who shared the membership with you. Depending on the link they send you, it may look like this, or it may look like this. If it looks like this, all you have to do is click here on Get Started, and it will bring you to this page. Choose your flag and fill in the information. It only takes a few minutes. After your sign-up process is complete, you want to go to My Account and then Training. That will bring you to this page. The third video to the right is the buyer's certification application training that teaches you all that you need to know about bullion to give you confidence in converting your fiat currency to real money, which is gold and silver. In the next box to the right is the collector's training, which teaches you what you need to know about modern collectible coins so you can confidently move forward with your offensive strategy with gold and silver.
So amazing stuff, right, guys? Okay, so up next, Alicia is going to walk us through the power of the Sound Money Wallet. Let's take a look.
Sound Money Wallet is so simple to use. There are many options, from transacting from member to member in cash, gold, or silver. After you have linked your bank account to your Sound Money Wallet, you deposit some cash. Then you go to this section. You have the option to convert your fiat currency to real money. The choices in the Sound Money Wallet are gold eagles or gold bars, or silver eagles or silver bars. In this scenario, I'm going to convert $5 toward a gold eagle. In this account, you'll notice that the current balance is $934 in change. So I'm going to buy and put in $5. You will see it shows the current cost of a gold eagle. Below that is the fractional amount of that $5 in ounces, and notice below that the transaction takes place immediately when I click buy. Then I go back to the dashboard, and you will see that the balance toward the gold eagle has increased by $5 from $934 in change to $939 in change. It's as simple as that. It's really kind of like a layaway plan. As I continue to add to this daily, weekly, or monthly, whatever works best for my budget, I will eventually have enough for the total price of a gold eagle. At that time, I can choose to have it shipped to me, or I can choose to have it stored in the 7K private vault that is covered with sufficient insurance to protect my gold. So if I choose to send cash or silver or gold to another member, again, I do it from this page. I'm choosing now to send $5 in cash to another 7K member. Note, there is a $19.11 balance in the cash account. Here, the name of the member is already stored in this account. I click here to choose the member and click send. The other member will receive their money and an email within seconds. You'll see that the cash balance has decreased because it's now in the other member's account. That's the Sound Money Wallet.
So what do you guys think? Just like we said, right? So, okay, now we'll have Alicia walk us through Stack and Sell.
7K has launched a powerful platform called Stack and Sell. Our collectible coins all have a barcode that we can scan. This allows you to view all of your collectibles from your phone or computer, creating a digital inventory, an appraisal, including the price you paid, the current market value, and the equity. It's also a safe and secure marketplace that provides the opportunity to buy and sell coins with members and non-members, both nationally and internationally. Now I'm going to show you a coin from the State Animal Series that I was privileged to receive in the Auto Saver program. It's called the Idaho Appaloosa. I paid $139 in December of 2020. And now the current value is $1,080, giving me an equity of $941. Now, I'm not saying that every coin performs this well, but I'm so thankful that I chose the Auto Saver program so you didn't miss out on this valuable coin. I can't guarantee how any coin is going to perform, but what I can say is diversity diversifying in the collectible market has made a huge impact in my offensive strategy with gold and silver.
So, guys, in just a few minutes' time, we've been able to show you the case for the new generation of sound money here. But there's more. This is life-changing for many, many people. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
People who might otherwise lose everything can thrive instead. Oh, before I forget, one more thing.
So as you guys remember how we said 7K is like Costco for gold and silver, guess what? It's actually better. So here's the deal. Your 7K membership can pay for itself, pay for your gold and silver, and pay you a second income. Told you, better than even Costco.
So here we are. We've made the case for the new generation of sound money. It's about being able to get it, being able to use it, and being able to keep track of its value. But time is running out. So what will you do? Keep running in the national debt rat race, or take the steps to free yourself?
So we appreciate you guys. Please talk with the person who invited you to watch this or to speak with the person who invited you, and stick around for additional details.